Hello everyone, how are we all doing? My name is Trevon from freestudiotime.com, and if you don't know who I am, I help beginner audio engineers and recording artists turn their mixes into gold. Today we're going to go over the methods I use to get spacey sounding vocals. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So in order to get spacey sounding vocals, there's a few different methods I like to use. First is delay. Delay is a tool that plays our recorded audio signal back to us in our chosen intervals, which creates a kind of echo. Using this is essential if your goal is spacey vocals. There's two ways I like to use delay. Either I use dual delay on the vocal bus or use delay as an automation clip. Using dual delay involves using two delays set at different intervals that complement each other. Using delay in an automation clip just means I create a specific section in my song for delay instead of applying it to my entire audio signal. Let me show you how I implement these methods. So for this song, as you can see, I didn't want to really use delay in my vocal bus so it can be applied to the entire signal. I'd rather just have it in specific parts that make a part shine out a little bit more. And that part was right here, as you can see. Let me play it for you so you can see how it sounds like.
Oh no, I've been fitted all night, moving so slow. I've been fitted all night, moving so slow.
So yeah, I really like how that sounds. If you're interested in using an automation clip for yourself, it's actually very simple. All you need to do in a normal situation is right here on your vocal bus or your vocal chain, just add your delay, come over here to the mixer knob right here, right click and press automation clip. So what you're doing now is pretty much telling the computer you want to create an automation clip for the mixer knob, so you can turn up and you can turn the delay up and down wherever you want to from down here. If you've already maxed out the amount of plugins you have in your vocal chain, all you can do is come over here, do what I've done, add your delay to like any random insert and route this track to that delay. So now we control the delay from this part right here instead of the mixer knob up here. So this is now our mixer knob, and since this is our mixer knob, that means we come over here, right click, create an automation clip with this one, and it does the exact same thing. And you can adjust this little line right here to turn it up in the mix however much you want to and whenever you want to, which is really cool. Second method I use to get spacey sounding vocals is of course my Reverb, which is a plugin that simulates the feedback you get from being in a room or given area. I also like to add two reverbs, make one smaller sounding and the other wider sounding, mix those both together to give my mix depth. Let me show you how I do this and incorporate it with my delay. So if I come over here, I opened up my mixer, go to my vocal bus. So as you can see right here, I have two reverbs. So right here's my wider sounding reverb. How I made it wider sounding is adding a little bit more to the hall. I didn't really adjust plate at all, and I boosted up the reflections by like a lot, so you can really hear what's going on right here. And this kind of gives this is kind of like the foundation of my reverb's space. As far as like what I did for the reverb EQ, I did the basics, took it out with a low end filter, a high pass filter over here for the low end. I boosted up the low mids a little bit to give my reverb a bit of added depth, and over here I took out the high end a little bit with a low pass filter. Pretty basic. For my second reverb, my smaller sounding reverb, all I didn't really adjust this one too much, except for instead of having it a room, instead of having this one for a hall and this one for a room, I have them both for chambers. So instead of like the reverb simulating a room, is simulating a chamber, and I can make the proper frequencies I need to make. I can make the proper adjustments I need to make. And all I pretty much did was add a little bit to the plate right here, and I didn't really adjust the reflections at all, and I got it to sound like exactly how I needed it to sound like. Let me show you how I got it to sound.
Searching endlessly for constant relief, and all these bad habits I wish I could shove them beneath. I've no sense of self, I can I rely as I scream out loud, and I wonder why. Guess that's just moments living on a.
So yeah, pretty nice, pretty nice. Third thing I like to do is implement these same steps on the background vocals to complement the depth I get from my lead vocals. Let me show you what I mean. So let me open up my mixer, come over here to my background bus. And as you can see on this specific chain, I added 2 delays instead of making it into an automation clip, and I have my 2 reverbs right here. And what I actually did on these 2 delays, I have them set to different intervals, and I played around with the stereo image a little bit by using this offsetting thing right here, these 2 offsetting knobs. So what these do is kind of like offset the actual placement of delay in the stereo image. So instead of your delay sitting in the middle, it kind of goes to wherever you want it to, and you can kind of get this ping pong effect inside the stereo image on the right hand side and left hand side, which is really cool sounding. Let me kind of boost it up a little bit so you can hear what went on. So that is the delay. For my reverb, I pretty much use the exact same concept as I did on the vocal bus. Only difference is I have them both turned up a bit louder in the mix. They're both turned up to 30%, and on the vocal bus I had them turned up maybe like 15%. So the last thing I like to do to get spacey sounding vocals is play around with panning. Panning controls the feedback you get from an area in a stereo image. Panning different elements in my background vocals and delay will create an ocean of sounds that can make a mix really exciting and pleasurable to listen to. Let me show you what I mean. So right here, I kind of made it to the point where you don't even notice I panned. So what I did was I did like 2 or 3 stacks of this original signal right here. I did like 2 or 3 stacks of that, and I panned one to the right side, and I panned one to the left side, and I had one in the center. But the one I had in the center, I turned down a bit more in the mix than this one and that one, so I can give more room for my original vocal to shine out. And the last thing you want to do when it comes to stack vocals is have your stacks overpower the original original vocal take. So let me show you what I did. So yeah, really cool sounding. But alright everyone, that is what I do to get spacey sounding vocals. If you're interested in learning how to utilize FL Studio to take your mixes from beginner to intermediate in under a month compared to a year of searching every outlet for the information yourself, click the link in my description and I'll show you everything you need to know in a detailed step-by-step guide that includes videos, quizzes, written information, as well as my personal contact for whatever questions you may have along the way. I will catch you on the flip side, everyone.